Welcome back to our second Pokemon Sleeper Sunday, and yes, these are only supposed to be once per month, but I got so excited I wanted to do another one. And we do have to give thanks to our video sponsor real quick. This is a brand new sponsor, so please go show them some love. They are called PokeNotify. This Discord channel is honestly crazy, and if you guys are super annoyed of just missing out on a bunch of steel products or pre-orders, this is the perfect thing for you. You know, they literally monitor hundreds of websites, so you guys do not miss out, and they are not a bot or reselling service. You know, it's a community of collectors for the collectors. And then you can also get a 3-day free trial to check it out. And then if you use the code PokeBeard25 at checkout, you will receive 25% off your entire first month. So definitely check them out. All the links are in the description. But all right, let's get started. So I'm trying to get this all organized. So let me know down below if you guys like this format a little better. Just trying to keep everything separate. But we're going to be starting off with raw cards that are worth a decent amount in a PSA 10. So we are starting off with this Feel here from Surging Sparks. I know this is still a newer card, but still, last sold 450, 455, 572, and this card sold for $100, 122, and 100 in a PSA 10. That's not bad for a $5 card. Next, we got the Drowsy illustration rare from Scarlet and Violet base set. You know, this card is definitely going up in price, raw. Last sold 14, 15, 14, 14, 13. But that's because it goes for, you know, $329 in a 10, last sale on December 11th. We got a sale on December 4th for about $250. Another one on December 3rd for $254. So that card is worth a good amount in a 10. So if you guys have that Drowsy, definitely go check the condition. And if it's clean, definitely send it in. Next, we got the Ceruledge, another newer card. This card got down to $16, and it's coming up right now, about $23. It was $32 on release. Last sold 24, 23, 22, 21, 19. I think the card is absolutely crazy, and I've said it 5 times now. It looks just like a special illustration rare. Give it some texture and an EX, and it's perfect. And this card sold for $265 in a 10 on December 19th, and $330 in a 10 on the 17th. Another sale for $330 on the 15th. Next, we got the Tyranitar, set to lightly played, but card's coming down just a couple dollars right now. Last sold 36, 37, 35, 37, 30, 32. And in the 10, it sold for 329, 270, 270, 290. All right, next we have the Charizard EX special illustration rare from Obsidian Flames. This card had a nice little spike recently. It was in the 40s for a while. Now last sold 54, 62, 53, 67, 55. But in the 10, last sold 330, 340, 375, 330, 350. So the reason why it's good to know this stuff too is if you're ever at a card show and you maybe see this card for $60 at someone's table and you pick it up and check it out and it's super, super clean, you know, you could potentially make a few $100s right there, even if it's, you know, a card you might not be interested in. That's why it's good to know this stuff. But yeah, almost $400 in a 10. Next, we got the Ralts illustration rare. Again, this card was $15 in September. Now last sold 22, 24, 22, 29, 29. So, you know, I don't recommend just going out and buying any random illustration rare from TCG Player. Odds are it's not going to get a 10. And these cards are not worth very much at all in a 9. But in a 10, the Ralts just sold for $311 best offer accepted with $40 in shipping. But before that, $270, $255, $250. Next, we got the Psyduck from 151. This card was also $11. Now last sold 16, 15, 14, 14, 17. And in a 10, it sells for 125, 140, 120, 150, 150, 115. It's pretty decent. Next, we got the Alolan Dugtrio. This card was $10. Oh, no. $13 on release. Now last sold 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6. And in a 10, last sold 125, 157, 180. Again, you know, a newer card. So the PSA 10 prices could definitely come down a little bit once a ton more hit the market. Next, we are checking out just some random raw cards that I think are completely undervalued. You know, even the PSA 10 cards are pretty cheap. We got the Pinsir, which is the same exact artist as the Alolan Dugtrio. If you guys can tell, they look pretty much the same. But super cool card, and most people like Pinsir. Last sold 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. This card was $10 on release. We got a ton of sales here, about $7. Next, we have the Frigibacks. I think these are some of the best illustration rares we've ever gotten. This whole evolution line is just crazy and super trippy. But this card was $11. Now last sold for $8.50, $4, $6.75. All right, next we have the Latias from Crown Zenith Galarian Gallery. You know, if you guys really want a beautiful Latias card and you cannot afford the one from Surging Sparks, this one is absolutely beautiful. It's up like $1 right now, but last sold $2, $3.50, $2.25, $3.50, $1.99, $2.50. Goes for like $40, $50, sometimes even $60 in a 10. Next, we have the gold shiny Houndoom. I think this is one of the best full art gold cards. And if you think about it, the Snorlax is, you know, $50, $60, $70. So I just feel like the Houndoom is just a little undervalued. It was $19 in June, and now last sold $12, $12.18, $12.35, $16.30. Yeah, I've actually been thinking about starting to collect these gold cards for the Sword and Shield era because I have pretty much all of Sword and Shield complete, and I have a little more room in one of my binders because my Sword and Shield is split up into 2 binders. And the gold cards, I mean, I would only collect the Pokemon ones. There's not very many. The most expensive one is the Snorlax, and I think they're pretty good looking. You know, I wouldn't collect the items and stuff, just the Pokemon. Next, we have the Ditto cards. I mean, these cards are super unique, and I could honestly see these cards being pretty expensive in the future. We got the Bidoof, Spinarak, Numel. Market price is $2.50, and $4.15 for the Bidoof. So we'll take a little peek at this Bidoof here. It's going up in price, actually. Last sold $6, $3.95, $6, $6.71. But yeah, I'm telling you, we don't have cards like this, really. So when we have stuff that's pretty unique, you know, it usually goes up in value, especially Pokemon Go is not as bad as people think. If you compare it to Sword and Shield base set or like Rebel Clash, I would way rather open up Pokemon Go any day of the week. All right, next we have the Charizard EX promo. This is from the X and Y era, and no joke, I really think the X and Y era has the best promos. But what's crazy is this Charizard is actually a little cheaper than the Blastoise and Venusaur and Pikachu. But, I mean, just having those other Pokemon in there like this, the scene is just crazy. Last sold 80, 60, 70, 67, 59, 50, 59, 59, 59, 52. You know, not too bad for that card. And I know it is a promo, but still, the box that the promo comes in is crazy expensive. Next, we have the secret rare Gyarados EX from XY Breakpoint. I am obsessed with these secret rare cards from the X and Y era. In my opinion, some of these cards blow some alternate arts out of the water and even some special illustration rares out of the water. But I mean, really take a look at this card. We're literally getting a shiny Gyarados with a Greninja and a Manaphy with a gold border, fully textured, beautiful alternate art. I swear, if we got this card today, it would be so expensive. And there's a few cards like this in the X and Y era. You know, I just added the Gyarados today. Maybe next month I'll add like the other cards like Mewtwo and Alakazam. But no joke, all of these cards I feel like are so undervalued, and these sets are super expensive now. Last sold for the Gyarados, 45 near mint, 50, 30, 75, 45, 63, 53. It is somewhat tough to find these in good condition, so please, if you're buying these, definitely look at pictures. Next, we got the Mew promo from the X and Y era with the rainbow here. Beautiful scene in the background. You know, that's why to me, the X and Y era is one of the best. Like, they really, really were the ones who started the illustration rares. Because you can't tell me this is not an illustration rare. This card is not textured, but still, last sold 25, 22, 23, 20, 20, 23. You know, I just love showing these cards like this, you know, especially for the newer people that don't know these cards. If you're a Mew fan and don't know about this card, you are missing out. All right, we are getting to some graded cards here. The Galarian Rapidash V alternate art in a PSA 10 sold for 87, 70, 55, 99. Like, that is absolutely crazy because the card raw sells for, you know, $40, $50. Last sold 42, 43, 40, 43. You know, that's a very, very cheap PSA 10 card. All right, next, we have the Galarian Articuno V in a 10. Last sold 125, 95, 110, 130, 120. And this card is also, you know, almost $50 raw. Last sold 45, 47, 47, 55, 56. So that's not bad. Next, if you guys really want a PSA 10 Umbreon, I'm telling you, these trainer galleries are just so undervalued. Yes, they're not the hardest to pull, but the sets are getting more expensive. So here's the Umbreon V here. Last sold 100, 86, 75. We got a 220. Oh, that's for both V and VMAX. 90, 85. And then even the VMAX here. Last sold 84, 88, 130, 75, 85. You know, that's not a terrible price for an absolutely top tier Umbreon card. And a 10. All right, next we have the Zeraora in a PSA 10. Last sold 50, 46, 50, 67, 65. I think this card is top tier, and the art is just so unique compared to the other illustration rares. Next, we have the Chansey. Last sold in a 10, 60, 60, 60, 58, 47, 44, plus $10 in shipping. Again, another super cool card with a lot of awesome Pokemon in there. Next, we have the Nidoking. I mean, you've seen the Psyduck selling for about $125. Nidoking last sold 81, 76. This is from 151. 82, 75, 80, 70. All right, next, we have the Kingdra EX promo. Now, the Greninja promo is a little over $100 now in a PSA 10, but the Kingdra last sold 65, 60, 55, 62, and in my opinion, the art blows the Greninja art out of the water. It's just Greninja's way more popular. But once these boxes get pretty expensive, I could see these PSA 10 cards, you know, being at least $100 to $150, maybe even more. And like I said, the art cannot beat that. All right, next, we're checking out some Japanese cards. Look at this Hoopa promo. I mean, just look at that. We got Lugia, Pikachu, Rayquaza. I mean, the card is just stacked. I think this was given out for the Hoopa movie, but it was only printed in Japanese. But last sold raw 45, 40, 48, 50, 40. 8 of them at 50. And then I did see on eBay too, quite a few sales for like $20, $25 for pretty clean copies. Not like perfect, you know, mint copies, but not too bad at all. So I'm definitely getting this card. I want to get this card in a PSA 10. I really like getting those Japanese exclusive cards in a 10, you know, especially when the art is like this. Like that is top tier. Next, we got the Bubble Mew. I mean, this Mew is almost $300 in English. And for Japanese, in a PSA 10, it's $185. And for raw, last sold 88, 109, 100. You know, not a bad price, a little under $100. Next, we have the Pikachu from V-Star Universe, otherwise known as Crown Zenith for the English set. But the only way you can pull this card is from a God Pack. Look at how expensive this card used to be. It was literally $537 in June of 2023 in a 10. Now, $90. And raw, it got up to, you know, $350. And now raw last sold 50, 66, 50, 67, 20, which seems too low for that. Not a ton of raw sales on here, 55, 56. But I mean, for a card that was that expensive and you can only pull it in a God Pack, you know, that card could definitely go up in value. Plus, it's Pikachu. Next, we have the Magikarp illustration rare. This card was also $142 in a 10 in 2023. Looks like it's coming up right now. Now it's $80 in a 10. The low was about $55. And then for raw, it looks like it's coming up a little bit too. Last sold 80 in a 10, 46 for raw, 83 in a 10, 47 for raw, 72 for 10, 75 for 10, 80 for 10. Not a bad price compared to our Magikarp, and you know the quality is much better. Next, we have the Groudon illustration rare. This card was $300 in 2023. Now last sold $31 in a 10, $9 raw, $15 raw. You can find this card, no joke, for like $7 to $10 raw all day long. I mean, that's just crazy for this Groudon. Next, checking out a couple PSA 10 Japanese cards. We got the Detective Pikachu Returns card. Again, a super adorable card where he's sitting on top of Growlithe. You can only get this in Japanese for the Detective Pikachu game. It was a pre-order thing. But you can find sales for like $55, $60, but it is starting to go up in price right now, and I could easily see this card be $100. All right, next, we have the Pikachu EX Special Art Rare World Championships 2023. I actually just got this card, but I got it for like $140, $150. It's gone up in price. But this card, no joke, is so beautiful. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. The detail is crazy. Like Pikachu's lightning bolt, you can like see the texture all the way through. It has a beautiful gold World Championship 2023 stamp. I mean, no joke. If we had this card in English, this would be one of the most expensive cards. It's that beautiful. Next, we have the Unagaba cards, and I think these are actually starting to go up in price just a tiny bit. Still very affordable. I mean, Pikachu sold for $75, Glaceon for $53, Leafeon for $52, Jolteon for $57. And what's fun about this is it's a pretty easy collection to complete. You know, and it's worth a decent amount once completed. Last sold for all 10 of them, $6.99. And they also have all 9 evolutions down here. It says sequential, which is pretty sweet, $5.99. But yeah, if you're just spending $50 to $60, maybe even $70 per card, and there's only 10 cards, that's not that hard of a collection to complete. And it looks beautiful when it's all done. But all right, we are ending off on the Pokemon Center website, checking out some Crown Zenith sealed products. I really feel like a lot of people are going to be upset they didn't pick up some of these products when they're just sitting here in stock. Look at the figure collections. So here's the Zacian, $59.99, and the Zamazenta, $59.99. If we jump to TCG Player and we take a peek, here is the Zamazenta one. Let's check out the recent sales here. Last sold 87, 74, 81, 73, 75, 83. For a box that is $59.99 at the Pokemon Center website. You're getting a ton of packs. You know, a decent promo, better than a lot of the just like the non-textured promos. I just feel like this promo, since it is Crown Zenith, should have been some sort of illustration rare, like the Galarian Bird tins. But let's hop back. They still have the Galarian Zapdos tin in stock. But let's check out the Galarian Zapdos and see if it is more expensive than $25. Market price $34.68. You know, and going straight up, last sold $34, $39.99, $34, $32, $35, $35. And then let's check the 3-pack blisters here. Let's see if they're going up at all on the secondary market for Crown Zenith. Look at that. Market price for the Cinderace, $23.43. Rillaboom market price $27, and the Inteleon market price $28. And they are $14.99 on the Pokemon Center website. So, you know, that's the stuff I'm talking about here. You know, it's starting to sell out. I mean, look at all the Crown Zenith products that are already sold out. Of course, some of the stuff could get restocked here and there, but we've had a lot of Crown Zenith. I can honestly see this being the last of it. And these are still good products, good tin. And I've been talking about Crown Zenith since I started this YouTube channel. You can go back to my oldest videos and I'm still talking about it, buying ETBs when I can only afford a couple ETBs a month. You know, everything I was getting was just Crown Zenith because it's the last yellow border set ever created. It has the most illustration rares and special illustration rares out of any set, and it has the best gold cards. Not to mention it has the legendary beasts in it. It has Glaceon, it has Leafeon, it has multiple Pikachus. You know, we got a ton of legendary Pokemon. So all the Pokemon in there are top tier. So I'm a huge fan of Crown Zenith, and I'm happy to see a lot of the products starting to go up in value. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Sleeper Sunday. If you guys do like how this was organized, please let me know down below. And if you guys do have any other ideas that can make these videos better, I am all ears. You know, I want to make these as good as possible for you guys. And then, of course, if you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. Leaving a like and comment helps the most, and I'm coming back to every single person. It might take me up to a week. I usually do it on the weekends, but I will definitely get back to you. And then, too, if you guys want to know when stuff comes back in stock or just to see my collection or anything like that, definitely follow me on Instagram or my YouTube membership. My YouTube membership is only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you want to watch my last Pokemon Flying Friday, where some very popular cards are starting to come back down in price, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.